Hey everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we have the Swagman XTC2 Tilt Bike Rack, and we're going to take a look at how it fits on our 2023 Mazda CX-5. So the XTC2 is going to be a very simple bike rack that has a tilting feature. If you like the Swagman XC2 and you like the no frills, don't have to pay extra for features that you may not need, this is going to be the upgrade to that. So it is for people that like an entry-level bike rack where you get some features without having to pay too much. Now focusing on the Mazda CX-5, this is going to be a very compact rack. That means you don't have to take up a lot of space behind your vehicle, but it still has some features there. The first feature we're going to talk about is the tilt away feature. There's going to be a pin and a clip underneath the bike rack. So you're going to remove that pin and clip. Now you may have to like push up on the rack if you find there's a lot of tension there. But once that's out, you then tilt this away. It does have an okay tilt angle. Fortunately for the CX-5, you don't need much because the hatch door is pretty small. Look at the difference between the door, our pedals, and our handlebars. We have plenty of space to grab even our larger items. We can hang out here, switch out our shoes if we want to, or even put things away, all without having to take off the bike. When we lift this back up, it does not snap into place. So you do have to go get that pin and put it back in and then get that clip into place too. What I've actually noticed is it's sometimes a little tricky to get that pin lined up. You have to do what I did, which is give the bike rack a little bit of a shake to make sure it lines up perfectly. Now with this in place, let's talk about the bikes. It has a 35-pound weight capacity per bike, which is pretty normal for most of your platform entry-level racks. We have a road bike on here, and we have some thin tires. So notice the thinness of these wheel hoops. The maximum tire size is going to be up to 2.5 inches. This secures the bike by 2 wheel straps as well as a hook. So when you want to take the bike off, you start at the wheel straps. These are just going to be rubber straps. We're going to pull it so it pops out of that tab. And then we're going to leave that strap over to the side so it doesn't get in the way of our spokes. So there's 1, and then there's 2, and then going over to our hooks. People do this in different ways. The fastest way to do this is just to loosen your hoops, and then you're going to maneuver your bike up and around your mast. My preferred method is sometimes I remove the hoops completely and then I lower the mast. Depending on how I have our pedals, I can sometimes get away with just moving that mast down just a little bit. Or if you do have a larger and bulkier bike, you would also have to remove the hoops. So different options there. It's whichever works best for you. I like spending the couple extra seconds to put this all the way down because then it's just a slight lift and we are ready to hit the trails. Now let's talk again about those wheel hoops. While it is slightly concerning that they have a 2.5-inch maximum tire width, you can upgrade them if you have a fat bike. So those are different hoops that you replace them with, and you can also move those hoops back and forth. Technically, the maximum wheelbase this can carry will be up to 52 inches, depending on how you arrange them. But for those longer wheelbase bikes, you may have to adjust where they sit on the rack to fully maximize that. Now, we're gonna put this back in so that we can fold our mast down and talk about the clearances. So I did say that this is going to be a compact rack. What that means is it doesn't take up much space behind your vehicle. So we're going to take some measurements. First, I'm going to put this down. Measuring from our bumper to the end of the rack, it sits at 21 inches. That's a measurement to remember if you have a small garage, you need to park into a tight spot, although with your bikes on, this is gonna sit out a little bit further because of those handlebars. Other measurement is gonna be ground clearance. So this is gonna be 18¼ inches off the ground versus where the shank is, which is about 12¼ inches off the ground. So there's a shank rise to give you a little bit more height, so you're not bottoming out when you go up on those inclines. Another thing though is this is also how high you're gonna have to lift your bikes up to get onto the rack. Now, this can fold up, meaning the sides fold up, so not the bike rack like other bike racks, but the sides fold up to be more compact. That's how you would store it inside your garage, in your shed, or even in your trunk. If you're just driving around town and you're not planning on taking your bikes out just yet, but you also just want to leave your bike rack on, I would put it in this position because this gives you almost full access to your hatch and opens up that whole area. So you can keep your bike rack on for easy accessibility, but it's not taking up as much space. This has an 1¼ shank that fits into your 1¼ hitch receiver on your CX-5. Be mindful though, whenever you do have those 1¼ bike racks, yes, this has an anti-rattle bolt, which decreases that side-to-side rattle. See how the vehicle is moving as I shake the bike rack? But it does not decrease that up and down movement. There might be a little bit of that, so always make sure to fully tighten down your bolt before driving away. But with that in mind, if you are looking for an affordable bike rack that can tilt away and also gives the stability of being a platform rack, this might be a good option for you. The downside is it does take a little bit more effort to tilt it away, plus it has a maximum weight capacity of 35 pounds per bike. Something worth taking a look at is going to be the Serra Super Clamp EX. That is a middle of the road affordability bike rack, but it has a 60-pound weight capacity where you still get that compact look, but you do have more weight capacity for those heavier bikes. The downside to that one is it's a more premium rack with more premium price point. This will definitely get the job done. You're able to see how it works with this vehicle. Was able to tilt away far enough. So this right here was a look at the Swagman XTC2 Tilt on the 2023 Mazda CX-5.
Here on our test course, we'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action. This simulates turning corners or evasively maneuvering. Once we get to the full speed bumps, we'll see the up and down action. This will be just like driving in and out of a parking lot, parking garage, or driveway. Once we get to the alternating speed bumps, we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement.